Well, good morning, everybody. It is once again rando time here on Speed Gaming with the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer tournament for 2019. I'm Nihon Tiger, and I'm joined by Koi. How you doing, Koi?
I'm doing fantastic. Very excited to see this
Excellent.
match.
Excellent. This is game 2 between Acktheboker and cassidymoen, and this is in Group V. This is I guess you call it the winner's final between these two. Ack is the number 1 seed in this group, and Cassidy number 3 seed, having beaten Megawatt. Ack's got a 1-0 lead at this time, so if Ack wins, he is on to the next round here, a single elimination round. And the loser of this matchup will have a second chance to get in. They will play in the second chance bracket finals for this group, Megawatt, who beat Lag Attack 2-0 earlier this week. Oh, and we're off. So very quick start there from Ack getting the Moon Pearl right away, and Cassidy's picking it up as well
So,
in the
am I
sanctuary chest.
am I
Oh,
crazy? Cassidy has no background music, right?
I do not hear it. I don't
Okay, all
think
right.
they hear it.
We'll do our best to switch the audio over, guys, but we may just be going without music today.
Yep, that could be the case. But I'm seeing some really quick checks here. We did see, I believe it was Ack did a menu check, and it looked like there was pendant that would analyze some crystals at Eastern and Tower Para.
I'll have to take your word for it. The no music is really getting to me. I'm sorry.
And it's all right.
There we go. Okay,
Ooh,
good shot.
nice. And flippers are at the Lost Woods Thieves Hut. So we got flippers and Moon Pearl already.
Yeah, nice bombs here from the bush crab for Cassidy. It can be really awkward to go up and grab that bush crab if you're doing the skip the lumberjack start like this, but definitely worth this.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the game mode here. Cassidy got to pick the change here because of losing game 1 to Axe, but it's a 6-6 open is the on with here. So the change here meaning that you need 6 crystals instead of 7 to be able to open up Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I feel 6-6 is a game mode you would choose, especially in a situation where you're able to sequence break Moldorm 2 and your opponent isn't. I know Cassidy is well versed in the Moldorm bounce tech. I'm not sure if Ack is, but Ack's a very good runner. It would not surprise me if he was also really good at that.
Yeah, I've actually not seen that yet, so I'm kind of looking forward to possibly seeing that. I'd like to see somebody do that. Oh, Magic Cape is up on the library shelf.
Yeah, it's far from guaranteed. It's still a very small chance of being a required or even possible to do it. Like swamp might just be a required crystal in the seed, but it is a much higher chance than normal of being a tech worth doing.
And there's our first sword in Backup Tavern.
Yeah, we see Cassidy is actually routing to avoid Kakariko at the start. And this is a conscious decision because there are a couple items you can get outside Kakariko that would be nice to have on your first trip, being the bottle and the flute. Acktheboker unfortunately have to go to the bomb hut here. This is very slow, but it's a very nice way to get bombs.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a difference here from the usual. I would like to say it's kind of meta, but not really meta. Check where you start off at Sanctuary and then do Lost Woods, work your way to Kakariko, and then save and quit, go back to Link's house, and then do the South of Hyrule. That's kind of the.
That's the meta. Like
Yeah.
That's the most common way to route, and then going to other places first is more like anti-meta.
Yep, and Fire Rod showing up in the chicken hut, so get some items early here. You'd think with a mirror and a flute or some way to get to Eastern Death Mountain and the hammer, like hookshot hammer combo, we'd have Tower of Para open if we can get up to Death Mountain. Oh,
okay, I refreshed my stream and I did jump ahead like 10 seconds. So sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Yep.
So I missed Agina's cave entirely. He was walking into it and then he was suddenly at Link's house.
Kakariko turning out to be literally, we've got a bow. There's the book, so that's in the Desert Palace. There's a bottle, so Sick Kid is now on a table.
Cassidy was having a little trouble with that first mini Moldorm, but takes down the other 3 real easy.
Yeah, Agino is just a big 20, so didn't miss anything. There's the second sword. There's the boots. Oh, why?
Not the biggest find, honestly. Like, Ack's probably going to go to mini Moldorm very, very soon. But, you know, anytime that you have the boots and your opponent doesn't, that's really nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got a little bit of extra pace here for Cassidy. He's gonna farm some rupees here. Just get to that 100 so you can get the bottle vendor item. Yeah, it's just a big 20. Cash exchange. Exchange rate isn't too good today.
Now, Cassidy does not have enough rupees for Zora, but he does have the flippers. This may draw him over to the Zora area and be forced to orphan Zora if he chooses to do that.
Indeed, and Quake showing up with the Sick Kid, so he's not feeling well, but he has the power to bring down earthquakes. And nice water walk into a water run here from Cassidy. Being able to use those boots on top of the ocean.
Very curious to see if he's going to continue from Hobo.
Yeah.
It's really dangerous to like already orphan locations when you're looking for Dark World access because the light world is just so small by comparison. Nope, he's going on. He may get lucky and just find a bunch of rupees.
Yeah, he might. Ack is meanwhile making the way over to Eastern Palace, going to Sahasrara, and gonna see what's in the closet here.
Yeah, and with bow in hand, Ack is almost certainly going into Eastern Palace following this.
Half magic. He's got the bow, he's got the fire rod, that's everything he needs to complete this dungeon. I'm really digging this card. We're getting to see some real open choices here and some real open routing for both runners. They're completely different locations right now, doing completely different things.
I'm really nervous about Zora, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, if Cassidy doesn't find progression here on Zora Ledge, he's not going back to Zora, right? Like,
right.
He's gonna do everything else before he goes back to Zora.
Right, unless he gets Catfish, unless he has Mirror and goes to Catfish, in which case he could do Catfish and Mirror over to Zora, but...
Yeah, it's fine if Zora has something, but it doesn't lock Dark World access. But say if it's the Moon Pearl, or, well, it's not the Moon Pearl, obviously, but it's something like the Moon Pearl that locks his Dark World access, like, it's gonna take a long time before he goes there again.
Yeah, that could be particularly cruel.
I thought maybe we got a shovel and I didn't know about it. I don't know what Cassidy's doing.
I think he was just trying to farm bombs or something. Or maybe he forgot.
Yeah, I think he must have forgot, because he had plenty of bombs. He was at like 8 bombs or something.
Yeah, it happens.
Little surprised he didn't come to Kakariko from Sanctuary so he can grab Bonk Rocks on the way.
Could be the plan to do that after. Just in case you would find something that would give you Death Mountain access.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have access to the Master Sword and the Cape. We're just missing a lamp for Aghanim. Ack didn't go quite far enough left when he threw that first pot and spawned the middle Stalfos.
Yeah, so one of the changes here, and we'll get to see it in a moment for Ack in V31, is at the back dark room there, where the Igors are and the Popos. That is now within logic if you have a fire rod, so it is within logic for Ack to complete this dungeon even without the lamp.
Yes, but it's not in logic for him to go to the vanilla big key chest, which is where he's headed right now.
Correct.
So in a situation where the big key is in its vanilla location, then the back won't be in logic.
That is correct.
I assume he didn't find the big key, right? Because I didn't see him open the big chest.
Yeah, he walked past it. I believe it's in its vanilla location. Surger 132. Is this map compass shuffle? Nope. The change here that Cassidy put in was for 6 crystals instead of 7. So we'll be going to 1 fewer dungeon tonight, and indeed there's the big key. But we may be going to 1 fewer dungeon. Who knows with this seed, we may still have to do Uppsala dungeons.
Yeah, quite often in 6-6, one of the 7 crystals is like locked behind Ganon's Tower, so you don't actually have a choice on where to go. Looks like our last item will be on Armos Knights. However, this is out of logic. Oh, Ack, what are you doing?
Oh, gotta be careful here. Only 3 hearts. You got 1 now.
Yeah, he grabbed that extra heart in the vanilla big key room. I don't think he meant to lose it in that room, though.
Oh, a little surprised he didn't go get the fairy, though. I guess he's feeling confident that he can pick up some hearts here. There's 1.
Yeah, that pot knowledge coming in real handy right there. It's unlikely that he takes much damage through these next rooms, but sometimes you get really bad cannibal RNG. Just take one wrong step and walk into an Igor or a Stalfos or something. Cassidy not even going north of... Not. Oh, I guess he already did Lost Switzerland.
Yep. I always like to bring
Still
this up
Bonk
too.
Though.
Yeah, I always like to bring this up that when you go to Dark World with only 3 hearts and green meal, the game does not adjust itself down for you if you're required to go early Dark World. It's still gonna hit really hard. So
Oh yeah,
the more hearts and safety upgrades you can get early, usually the better your Dark World die will be.
Nice top right from Acktheboker. Not even spinning the extra arrow. Easy peasy. 50 rupee squeezy. Green pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah, I was about to say Thieves Town. That could actually be on the table as a required item because Thieves Town's pretty easy to clear out. We may see them go through it, go through the whole thing anyways, even if they don't necessarily need to complete the dungeon.
So we're still missing out on some progression here, and the only things we haven't seen are Bonkrocks and Zora. Oh, Desert.
Great.
Forgot about Desert.
Desert Axes. Ack may be making the play down the desert though. Maybe after.
No, he'll go mini Moldorm.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's not mini Moldorm yet because he's only got that fighter sword. That makes sense.
Desert's like one of the scariest places to go if you're not absolutely sure you can full clear it. It is a very, very slow double dip if you don't have access from the Dark World.
Well, the good news for Ack will be that once he picks up those boots and that second sword, not going to have any trouble actually clearing it. Got the book, got the fire source, got the boots in case the key's on the torch. Good to go, friend.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy decision for him to go to Desert following all this. He's going to find the flippers, though. And like Cassidy, he is not going to have enough money, I don't think, for Azora.
Yeah, there's not really been a seed that's been too generous. It's been pretty unhealthy. Very few hearts here. The Cassidy has picked up a couple. Ack's not really found a whole lot of them yet. But, money-wise, it's been pretty tough. Ack having to go drop back into the well to get enough money to do the bottle vendor. Nice ether use there by Ack.
I mean, if you got the magic.
You might as well. Nice sword. You're gonna get the boots. And we'll go over here. And no more money, but still.
I wouldn't say this is like the most Aga seed I've ever seen, but this seed's looking a little bit Aga right now.
Yep.
One glove would make it not needed, but if we
Right.
find that lamp first, we might see somebody go to Aga before going to Zora.
Right. You got to think at this point that there's probably something in Desert Palace that will give us the indication which way the suit's gonna go. One of those two items is very likely either a glove or it's a lamp. And once we know that, we'll kind of have an idea of pretty much of where we need to go.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Our progression is almost definitely going to be in Pendant Desert Palace, but man, is that not fun to do.
Having to do
14 minutes of the game, I'm already full clear in a pendant before Dark World access.
Yeah, having to clear out any kind of pendant dungeon when you don't need to do it is just, it does not feel good.
So Ack is going up to Hobo using the water walk just like Cassidy did. He has a little bit more rupees than Cassidy did, thanks to the what did he do? He did like a tree pull or something. But he's still short for Zora, and he's not going to find any rupees here except for that single one from Hobo. Oh, Ack leaves. Okay, I really like this play because like you can just hula hand and then go to Zora, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he'll do. You're probably right. No, he's going to his house.
Oh, escape. We haven't seen the escape. I forgot about the escape. Was this not a standard save?
Yeah, this was open. X going in the normal way. Gonna drop down and say hi to Uncle. So we can still find items here that would indicate where we need to go. Uncle's just got a piece of heart, but Axe can get a full heart off that, so that will be welcome.
Makes me a little nervous to go to the escape in this particular situation because, say, like we find the lamp in the escape, right? You are super pressured into going to do Aga right then, even though there's other things you can go do.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that could still be, a glove. Could still be hanging on Desert Palace.
Oh, Cassidy unfortunately missing the quick kill here when to finish off the last guy. To answer F. Coughlin, you can hula hand with the boots. There's a bonk setup to do it. I can't really explain it without showing you, but it is possible. All right, after Armos, Cassidy leaving Link's house, are we going desert or the escape? The escape it is.
Yep, first bit of convergence between these two runners. We've seen them kind of explore the overworld, dip into Eastern Palace at this point, and this is the first time they'll really be in the same location.
Axe farming that 5 rupee stun prize. He wants to go to Zora. And there is his money.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's probably just a smart play, just to set that up. If you're thinking ahead, the more plays you can set up ahead of time, and like making sure that you have enough rupees to go do Zora if it's available right after you do your current check, and the better your routing is going to be, or at least more efficient.
Now, I still think that progression is most likely going to be in Desert Palace given our current item set, but I totally understand why the runners are not going there. It does not feel good to go to a pendant dungeon and get nothing.
Yep. Act doing the death warp there as we find another sword in Zelda's prison cell. So
all the swords.
Yep.
Cassidy's skipping a chest? Okay, there you go. All right, this isn't NMG. I forgot.
So yeah, it looks like Axe just gonna go ahead and do the. Oh yeah, he's got the fire rod. So
yep.
Yeah,
so just like
within logic.
Yep, just like the Armos boss fight.
That's of course also one of the new changes with V31, with Dark Cross also not being within logic with the fire rod. So a little bit of a change for our runners, having to remember where all the things are. But there you go.
These are relatively easy dark rooms, even without the fire rod. All the rupees. All right, so our key is going to be in the back. which we can't get to. But no Houlihan necessary. We have all the rupees. Looks like Axe going after Bonk Rocks real quick. Probably do a Lumberjack check. Which I don't think we've seen yet.
No, we haven't seen Lumberjack, and we haven't seen Bonk Rocks. We can get Bonk Rocks first. It's Glove. Okay, cool.
Hey, no Aga required. No Zora required. At least not for Dark One access. Looks like Cassidy was unable to or didn't want to death warp, and we'll have to walk back up to the castle to do Dark Crosshair.
Yeah, we know there's a key back here. What else is in the back chest? There's the key. There's 20 in the map.
Wow, Acktheboker, you weren't counting items? Come on, buddy. I'm just teasing. Counting items in the escape is so tedious. Even when I count items in the escape, I usually open the last chest anyway, just in case I miscounted.
Never a bad idea. And Ack heading to the Dark World. Might get a map check here real quick. We know... Yep. There we go. 5-6 is going to be Swamp and Turtle Rock, and the last pendant will be at Ice Palace.
I'm a little surprised Cassidy didn't go to Bonk Rocks a little sooner. Because he makes like this animated play right where he goes to South Shore first, and he finds the boots there. Like, I feel like you want to follow that.
Hype Cave starting out with a hook shot. Big 20.
Yeah, hookshot is definitely a very nice item to find early. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for us logically at the moment. Oh, and Cassidy's going Desert Palace before Bonk Rocks.
Well, the one thing that would open up, actually, Koi, is not in logic, but with our runner skills, they're going to be able to navigate the dark rooms to go up to Death Mountain, and that will get them to ALTTPR.
Yes, and that's probably a really easy decision for them to make because, like, you're only secret breaking the lamp, right?
Right.
And we already have a fire on.
Now, granted, this seems like a weird play from Cassidy, but if it turns out there's something hiding here that's needed for go mode, then you know what, you maybe made a really good play.
I think it's weird that he's doing this before Bonk Rocks, but I don't think this is, in general, a weird play. Like, the items that we found so far in the Light World, they're heavily pointed at Desert Palace.
Yeah, it's kind of a situation where it does point a little bit at Desert Palace, and just it's hard to get some of those orphan locations. And kind of with Cassidy's pattern here, we were talking about how cool it is to see something new. The one thing it did do is it orphaned Bonk Rocks pretty hard by itself up there at the top. It's not necessarily a thing that you want to have to do at this point, maybe until you get to needing to go up to Death Mountain. But again, you know, even Cassidy, not really even at the point where that's going to be a situation that they're thinking about right now.
Ack taking his bow and hammer over to Palace of Darkness, it looks like.
It appears to be the play.
No, this is definitely a pretty standard play with this equipment set, like especially with pot being a crystal. Who needs the lamp? Oh, is the item on Landmo? Poor Cassidy.
I think so. And really looking at...
Oh no, it's the map. The map's on Landmo. He already has both items.
Yep, you just realized that, I think. Yeah, just really looking at the the layout here of these pendant dungeons, McCoy, what I'm noticing, just kind of do the math in your head about what those dungeons are and what items you need to get through those dungeons and what we found so far. I can't think of anything that's actually locked behind the pendants. Like, that won't be on pedestal possibly, because we've got everything we need to get through Ice Palace. Thieves Town's pretty simple and easy to get through. And Desert Palace, we've got the book and the fire source already. We don't really need to worry about,
Just
eliminating something.
Ice Rod,
Yep.
Mirror, Flute. And I guess Bombos.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the other one would be the other lift upgrade too, because of the fact that it's a Black Rock at Ice Palace, so that would be the one that's really the only thing that can't be there is that second lift upgrade to Titan's Mitts.
If we find Titansmiths pretty soon, like Ice Palace really doesn't look that bad with how early we got the fire on the flippers. Cassidy going to Zora before his Bonk Rocks. I don't know why he's put it off for so long, because he got it really, really early.
I don't think he's going to put it off for much longer.
Nice out of there now. So this is definitely starting from behind here is Cassidy.
It's almost a situation maybe where you try to be a little bit creative in your routing, and it could be a situation where you are just a little bit too maybe creative in trying to outplay the seed or something like that.
I think
something where you're like,
I don't know. He might have just forgot about it.
That could be the case too. That's the other possibility.
Yeah, I don't think Cassidy or Ack checked Lumberjack. Am I mistaken?
We did not see that.
Because Ack went straight to back of escape, and Cassidy immediately saved and quit.
Right, because we saw Ack basically saving. I think we saw him save and quit from Lost Woods, and then Cassidy just went. No, Cassidy saved and quit from Lost Woods, I believe, and then went down and did some other things. And yeah, we never saw Lumberjack Ledge.
Now, obviously, Aga's not in logic yet because we don't have that lamp, but I mean, the lamp's somewhere. It's always somewhere. And the most common place to check Aga is when you're doing Bonk Rock, so a little worried about it at the moment.
I think the one thing for Cassidy, maybe it's also a little bit worrisome right now with that Zora check, is that really has possibly isolated Catfish as a location check if there's something there. Ack still has Catfish into Zora as a possibility, or even Potion Shop Catfish Zora play, which is not too uncommon. I'm seeing Ack set up the bomb yump, the hammer yump here. Nice of him, I think. He's on the right pixel. Nice of him.
So he does this specifically to avoid death warping. In a normal seed like this without glitches or anything, hammering up is very rarely used for skipping the key. But this does allow him to go backwards through the maze and just continue through the dungeon to Helmasaur King rather than having a death warp.
Right. It also saves the key because you're coming through the door from the other side. It does not use a key if it's only locked on one side. It does?
It does on this one. I think that's just for like staircases.
That might be the case, yeah.
And there's the lamp. This is why you can't be afraid of dark rooms, guys, because the lamp is horrible. Like, can you imagine, like, if you were a runner who like didn't want to do any dark rooms, no dark rooms? Like, how long would you put off pod?
A pretty long time, but at the same time here, everything to get the pod was actually kind of within logic when you think about it.
Looks like Cassidy also headed over to Palace Darkness. They're kind of mirroring each other's checks here in the Dark World. Both of them going over to Dig Game and then on to Pod. Ack with a bit of a lead, with Cassidy going to Desert and Zora.
Holy Toast is asking, wouldn't Hera have been illogical with Fire Rod and Hook? The dungeon, yes. Getting up there, no. Because the logic wants you to have the lamp to the dark room where the old man is.
Or the flute to bypass.
Or the flute, yes. That's the other opportunity. That's the other possibility is flute. You just flute the one. Yeah, having either of those, you would be able to do Hera with the Fire Rod and Hookshot and Hammer.
Of course, now we do have that lamp from Palace of Darkness, so going to the mountain following Pod, that looks like a pretty good play for Acktheboker. Crystal Dungeon up there, lots of density over in Paradox Cave. The only concern with going up there too early is maybe you'll have to Orphan Spike Cave, maybe you will have to choose between Spike or Spiral, and what if the mitts are just sitting somewhere else and I could have done Dark Death Mountain at the same time?
Yep, or having the mirror even would, be beneficial at this point. If that's somewhere else that you could have gotten access to, like if it's in Thieves Town, that's possibly a little bit of a time sink.
Ack stopping for a second to pick up that heart. Don't blame him. Helmasaur is notoriously mean when he uses fireball attacks.
Yep.
It's actually really easy to avoid, like the fireballs and not take damage, but
Yeah.
it's very, very slow to do so. So oftentimes you just want to like power through the fireballs.
Yep. And Axe standing in the right spot there. Yeah, there's a nice little safety spot you can stand in with those fireball attacks when they pop out, where you can't get hit by them, but it just takes so much longer because the animation's in the butt. Hey, there's the mushroom. That's another possible check.
We're looking for that.
And that'll actually be nice for Ack. Doesn't have the mirror, so you won't be able to go mirror to Potion Shop, to Catfish, to Zora, and make a super efficient check.
Oh yeah, that is the dream. Like if I was Zach, I'd probably put off those checks for a very long time, just hoping to do it with the mirror. And looks like we will be going up the mountain. Maybe now he'll check Lumberjack? Oh yeah, this is a Lumberjack check. Alright, last opportunity to force Aga upon our runners. Da 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 da. 300 rupees.
Yep, big 300. It's gonna be a hard pass from both of them.
I feel like this mountain play, it really makes the most sense right now. Like just given the items we have and what we can do up there and everything. But it's not the only place that we can go. Like right now he can full clear Skullwoods, Pendant Thieves, and the Catfish and Zora checks that we were talking about before.
Yep, all 100% correct here. Of course, you can also do Tower of Hera, which is very likely a play we're going to see here. Just the full mountain clear, at least Light World side. Let's go do Desert Palace, but we know there's nothing really there.
Oh yeah, he hasn't done that yet. So as long as he doesn't find like kind of the ability to do Spike Cave, the routing through this is pretty standard, right? He's just going to do Paradox, then over to Hera and Ether Tablet, and then go back to Spiral Cave and leave the mountain. But say he finds the Cape or the Cane of Burna, and suddenly Spike Cave is accessible and in logic and everything, and it's like, okay, well, I do Paradox and Hera, but if I do Spike Cave, I'm leaving the mountain, and if I do Spiral Cave, I really want to leave the mountain. So you might be forced to choose between those two.
Yeah, it's always a difficult choice, too. And just as a small heads up to our viewers wondering about the tracker items and stuff like that, sometimes the the program is a little bit slow on accepting inputs, so we'll make sure that it is working all right here. But thanks for paying attention as always. Likes to eat inputs too. Oh, there's the mitts. Well, we don't have to worry about that one.
All right, that's actually really fantastic because that completely negates the choosing between Spiral and Spike Cave situation. Because now you can just go over to Spiral Cave, then enter the Dark World, and leave on Spike Cave.
Absolutely, that's some good. That's a big sigh of relief for Ack because that really opens up a lot. In fact, I think he's actually going to go ahead and oh no, I'm just going to check the floating island to see that it's a full heart up there, and go do Tower of Hera. Oh, actually going to get the ether check in too. That's a smart play. Remember that he's got the book. You don't always have it when you come up here, so.
Yeah, and our book hasn't done anything for us yet. Desert was empty. Just a bottle.
Yeah, it's a blue bottle.
I mean, the book doesn't have to do anything, but
No.
It would be nice if it did.
No, but the free safety's not too bad. Never gonna knock that. And there's compass.
Oh, we're doing Harrowpot. He doesn't even care if this is a big key. We're totally doing Harrowpot.
And nicely done. Nicely executed there from Ack. So
I don't know the super speed setup for that, but after watching Ack do it, I don't want to learn it.
It seems like it's
It doesn't look like any easier than the placing a bomb strat.
Right. So for those wondering about Harrowpot and just what happened there, basically there's those pots in Tower of Hera that you can clip into through either through bomb placements and just kind of using the bombs and nudge your way into that. Apparently there's also a hookshot speed set up for that as well now. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised.
I don't understand why he didn't open the chest though. Like on the first map chest, because like that might have just been the big key.
Right. I think maybe he just wants to get to the top first because.
Well, he kind of orphans the big chest. Like he'd have to Harrowpot again to get the big chest now, and it was the big key in the map chest.
Oh well.
So do we go back?
I feel like you should. You still got items you're looking for. You should probably, keep opening chests and stuff.
I think he must have just been mistaken and thought that it was fire locked. All right, we're orphaning.
Okay.
How many items did we orphan? It was just one.
Both. We didn't find a single item in there.
Both items? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All that's left is I believe the map. We know where the big key is. The map with 2 items.
Yeah, so one item was at least fire locked. Yeah, there was no logical reason for him not to open the map chest there. I think it must have been a mistake.
But yeah, with the Harrowpot glitch, basically the way that works is you clip into the pot through means of your choice. You fall down into the hole, and then you just take the warp back up, and it basically allows you to bypass having the big key.
Yeah, it's a very common play when like the big key isn't available early. Sometimes it can ruin you, like if there was progression in that big chest though.
Right. I think that's a risk that Ack wants to take. And
yeah, I think he was willing to take the risk if it was firelock, but like there's no reason to take the risk if he didn't have to, and he definitely didn't have to. Maybe nerves getting to him a little bit here.
Yeah, could be.
These are some high pressure races. Cassidy is definitely a very good player. I would be worried about facing him.
Yep. Definitely a really good matchup here, and for Ack, if it's a situation winning in, you're into the the single elimination phase if you win this race, and you don't have to worry about playing another match until then.
So Ack entered the Dark World at the bottom of Death Mountain, which precludes his ability to open TR. It was just Bombos, though, so he wouldn't have been able to open it anyway.
Yep, so Ace is asking what he missed. Ack skipped lobby chests in Tower of Hera. He did, had the big key, did the Harapot, went all the way to the top of the Moldorm, killed Moldorm. Moldorm had the small key. So we skipped the map in 2 items, and we don't know what those items are.
Powder and Blue Mail in Hookshot Cave. And Ack is headed on to Spike Cave. This is out of logic, but he did get that blue potion, which will make this very doable. I think he forgot he has the Tempered Sword. Like usually when you come up here this early, the Lionels, you have to do the hookshot strat to get through them. But the Tempered Sword, you can just dash right through that Lionel.
And it's definitely one of those things, kind of muscle memory probably at this point. Where you're just trying to...
This is the second time, though, I've seen Ack do something this seed that seems like kind of out of character for him.
Ooh, Spike Cave just a big 20, though.
Yeah, you don't really feel bad about doing that, though. Like routing to it was really efficient. You didn't have to work for like Spiral Cave to do it or anything. And plus,
That's true.
We got the mitts on the mountain, so like the mountain feels like it was a good play. We got major progression.
Yep, we're going over to King's Tomb now, though.
Yeah, so we find these mitts on the mountain. What do they do for us? Well, King's Tomb, obviously that's an easy check, real quick. Smith Sequence is pretty gross to do, but it is locked behind the mitts. And Ice Palace.
Right, and Smith Sequence is going to be a little bit longer now that we don't have... Well, since we don't have the mirror at this point, we'll be able to do the quick Smith route. We're going to have to do a really long one where we have to save and quick, go back to the Light World, and then go all the way back down to Kakariko.
Yeah, avoiding mirrorless Smiths is a very common decision for most runners, but sometimes it can save you a race.
Well, here's Potion Shop check. Get that mushroom. What's it going to be? It's a shovel!
Fun!
I love... Koi, I just love when Fetch Quest becomes like... Fetch Quest item turns into Fetch Quest item. And it's
only fun if it leads to progression. Otherwise, it's like, oh my gosh, why? Alright, so Cassidy in Tower of Hera. So assuming he doesn't do the same thing that Ack did, we will probably see at least one of the items from this dungeon.
Yep, gonna get that big key. So, heading on upstairs.
Yeah, he's also gonna do the Harapot, though.
I can't blame him, too. He's a little low on health, so the one nice thing about this is there's some fairies down in the Harapot room. And just some bombs, unfortunately, for that mushroom and the shovel. And that's the bomb setup, so... Nicely done.
You did it faster than Ack.
Yep.
But I think the super speed tech is probably faster if you can do it like first try.
There's the map. So the second item is actually in the basement.
Just a piece of heart in that big chest, so Ack's not completely ruined.
No, but the nice thing about that was for Cassidy, that was a full heart refill. So it was down to 2 hearts, and now is up.
Oh, did he not grab the fairy?
Nope.
Oh, that's surprising.
Oh, Ack picking up the magic cape off the library, though.
Oh, I forgot that was there. Yeah, I guess Spike Cape was on logic then.
Yeah, Cassidy picked it up way back when they came through first time. Magic bat, though. What's the magic bat got? What are we gonna get cursed with? It's gonna be a little bit of love.
Nice. Alright, Cassidy picks up one item here in Tower of Hera. He can go back in and get the basement. I really doubt he's gonna do it. Just because, like, you just found the mitts, and the mitts unlock so much.
No, he's gonna do it.
Never mind, he's doing it. He's doing it.
I think maybe the thought here is if it's an item you really need, you don't want to have to come all the way back up here just to have to do this anyways.
Yeah, or just the metagaming aspect of it. It's like, well, Ack probably doesn't want to do this, just like how I was saying, like Cassie wouldn't want to do it. So this is an opportunity for Cassidy to do something that Ack didn't, and possibly gain a huge lead, which he definitely needs after the unfortunate missteps in the early game.
Sorry, Koi. We're
What?
getting a ped check.
Oh,
From Ack.
okay.
I didn't expect this. Just a little piece left. Okay, sorry. I made it seem like it was a big thing, but it is a ped check, and it's just everybody loves ped check.
It's definitely not crazy for him to do this pet check. Most people will avoid doing this until it's like convenient to do so. But those mitts did give him logical access to pedestal.
Right, might as well. And it's just a little piece of love, so we know that the ped is dead. And then, oh no!
Oh, Ice Rod and Hera basement.
Yep.
Okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, because it is 6-6. Ack may be able to complete the seed without the Ice Rod, but this is going to restrict his options. He will not be able to skip a different dungeon if he doesn't have the Ice Rod.
Great. So, like, if he doesn't go back and get that, then he's not going to be able to go into Turtle Rock. But the question is, does he even need to go into TR at this point, given that it's 6-6?
Right now, I think he'd prefer the Ice Rod he knows rather than the flute he doesn't, right?
Right. So if he doesn't find the flute...
Or that mirror, I guess. Is also
now that we said that, flute's going to be right here.
Oh, there's the mirror.
Okay. Skullwoods.
Nice find. That will give him access to full clear Swamp Palace, which everybody loves to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. That if he doesn't find the flute, he's not going to Misery Mire, which means Turtle Rock has to be the dungeon choice. So I think maybe that's what he's got to bank on, is that the flute pops up somewhere here, and the flute's not in, like, Turtle Rock.
So Ack will have to find either the flute or eventually go back to Herapace with the Ice Rod. And they'll both have to find the cane. But when Cassidy finds the cane, wherever it may be, that will be go mode, because he's definitely getting this mirror out of Skullwoods next.
Right. The one thing that he would need, though, too, he still does need Bombo.
Oh, right, Bombos. Forgot about Bombos.
Turtle Rock, yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. This Ice Rod may not ever get used.
We'll see. We'll have to see on this. Could certainly be within play, depending on where we find Bombos. I think that would be the super mean option, would be if Fluke's in GT. Which is entirely possible. It's entirely possible within logic.
Absolutely. But, you know, like, on the other side of that, Bombos could also just be in GT, and the Ice Rod was completely pointless.
Or they could both be in the overworld, and it could be your choice. Probably not. I don't think the logic would make it that wide open, but I'm sure we'll find out at some point here. Random 2552 in chat bringing up a good point. Could be a double Bombos access night here, or day. I guess. How am I saying night? It's like.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I think just by virtue of how we already have the other two medallions, it's unlikely. But it wouldn't be the first seed where something like that happened, where I have like all the medallions except for the one I need, and the others just do nothing.
Yeah, you would think in that case, though, that we would find Bombos hanging out somewhere pretty soon.
So where are we headed at? Are we doing Smith sequence into Swamp?
I think he's going with Thieves Town. Maybe doing Village.
Well, we'll definitely do Village of Outcast checks for sure. Probably front four of Thieves. It's not uncommon play here. I'd be surprised to see him full clear Thieves just because he just got the mirror. But, you know, Swamp sucks, so it wouldn't be that crazy.
Yeah, Swamp has a lot of items in it. 6-item possibility, but it's kind of a tedious dungeon to get through.
Another thing this routing does, though, is we're orbiting Graveyard Ledge at the moment.
It's always a dangerous proposition.
Now, he still hasn't done, like, the whole pyramid to Catfish chain, and you could like, hookshot over and do Graveyard Ledge on the way to Catfish. Or even start at Graveyard Ledge and then go from there over to Catfish. So it's not, like, orphaned, but it is being skipped for the time being.
Great, there are routing possibilities. And there's the big key, of course, last chest. Is he gonna dip out? Yep. Yeah, that's always a good point to bring up, Koi, is that it's not entirely orphaned. It just gets to the point where the options for routing start to become a little bit tedious. Bucknet hanging out in C-shaped house.
That was amazing. Cassidy timed it out so that the Wallmaster would pick him up right after opening the vanilla big key chest, but it was the mirror.
It's kind of like, well, at least I know what to do. It's practice. It's good practice.
Oh, it looks like we're headed over to Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, bumper game for sure. Yeah. Yep, we're going Graveyard Ledge.
Nicely done back.
So this tells me he really doesn't want to go to Swamp.
I think so. He's trying to look for all the other plays, which also maybe makes me think that he might be thinking Ice Palace next. Even though Kane may be that, depending on how the key layout is.
I mean, we may see Ice Palace this scene, but I don't think he'd do that before Swamp.
True.
Like, full clearing ice is something you never want to do in any seed. And then full clearing pendant ice when you have crystal dungeons you can full clear. That's just not a...
It's not
this is a guy who skipped both items in Tower of Hera. I don't think he's going to pendant ice. That's all I'm saying.
Probably. No, I think he's doing Smith Chain now.
Yeah, it looks like a Smith Chain into Swamp. Like, just trying to do, like, Overworld on his way to Swamp and maybe find something that lets him not do Swamp.
And Cassidy's also going to check Pyramid, I think. Not Pyramid, but Pedestal.
Oh, he doesn't?
Or not. No.
Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, like that is the time when most people do check Ped, is if you have the mirror and the book after killing Mothula.
Oh no, he's just gonna use the mirror to take a more direct route back to the portal. Actually, it's not a bad play at all.
Yeah, Act is the same thing.
A little bit quicker, yeah. It's one of the nice things about watching runners like Cassidy and Act do their thing is when you play this and you run it a little bit, you kind of get to see things that maybe you don't think about, and you're like, oh, okay, that's an option. I never thought about that before. And just looks like some bombs there in hammer pegs, unfortunately. So what do the Smiths have for us today?
We really want to see Canis Samaria.
Oh!
The God Vision!
God Vision.
I certainly wasn't just randomly stabbing at progression items that we don't have yet. And it didn't just happen to be there. I definitely knew in advance.
So by the way, things that float, ducks, churches, and apparently koi.
Oh my god. Alright, so assuming Cassidy does the Smith, that will be Bombos for Go mode for him. Whereas Axe still has to find either the flute or go back to Hera for that ice rod in addition to Bombos.
Alright, what do we got here in South Grove Cave? It's just a piece of heart.
We see Ack leaving the purple chest behind. He doesn't need it. That's fine.
He might be doing the
It's the invisible purple chest.
yeah.
Yeah, this is
invisible.
this isn't a new glitch, but it's a new one to see runners do. It was like discovered and then immediately forgot about for a while, and then very recently rediscovered, and everyone started doing it. But it's really simple.
Right.
You just leave the purple chest behind and just mirror next to the guy, and he just gives you the item. It's a little time safe if you happen to have the boots.
Yep, it's a lot more efficient because you can dash with the boots instead of having to slow walk to that chest all the way over there. Alright, what's on Bombos? It's not vanilla. Just a big 20.
Gotta go swamp now, right?
I think so. I think
It's
that's
gotta be swamp. Oh, wait, okay. He just switched to mirror early, that's all. I thought he was gonna mirror and go into desert for a second. And Cassidy is turning into Smith and will receive the Canis Maria. That puts us just one medallion from no mode and one medallion from go mode for Cassidy here. Only time will tell if that ice rod ends up being vital.
Boy, that could be a huge play. Or it could be nothing, so we'll have to really see here. Yeah, Swamp Palace. First, it starts off with the key. We'll get our first possible item here on the left.
I don't know if anybody's compiled numbers on the different settings that have been chosen for game 2s and 3s. But I believe the most common settings chosen are like fast cannon and 6-6 and map compass shuffle.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of map I think I would agree on that, Corey. I've seen a lot of map compass shuffle for game 2 and a lot of 6-6 as being the big changes. And fast cannon as well would be probably a pretty frequent one. So, Ice Rod, for those who are just tuning in at 56 minutes and 27 seconds, the big difference right now is the Ice Rod, and it was a play that Cassidy made that Ack skipped. It's in the basement chest, the Tower of Hera. Ack skipped all of the chests in Tower of Hera that had items. Cassidy did a full clear and found the Ice Rod, so there is a possibility it's going to be needed if we don't find that flute. We're seeing Cassidy go ahead and do the invisible chest here.
Now, if we do find the flute first, and assuming that Meyer isn't Bombos, they may just be go mode for our runners. In which case, Ack actually saves time by not getting the ice rod.
Correct.
But if Bombos shows up first, man, Cassidy's in a really good spot.
Yeah. If Bombo shows up first and it's either Bombos for both or, well, yeah, I guess even if it is Bombos for both, it would still be a pretty good spot. Nothing yet for Ack, no flute. There's the big key.
In a very disgusting location.
That's that you have to go back in
Sorry.
location.
So Cassidy and Ack both missed the mirror blocker race on the right block and had to switch over to the left one. I didn't mention it when Ack did it before because it was just like a little flub, but to see them both do it, it's so weird. So the mirror blocker race trick is actually really simple. You just hit the mirror while the block is being moved. And both of them just failed to do so on the first block.
Yeah, it's super easy to do. It's when you're starting out. It's one of the first tricks that you learn how to do. It's one of the first ones I learned how to do. Very, as you mentioned, quite very simple. You just hit the mirror as the block is moving. has a lot of uses. Pretty much anywhere that you can move a block that's not within a dungeon or the overworld. So like caves and stuff like that. Myers Shed is particularly useful for that, as well as the swamp gate there.
No progression on Argus. Ack does have the big key. He hasn't gone back to the big chest yet. I'm not sure how many items are in the dungeon though. At
Yeah,
least
this
one,
is-
because we're going back in.
Right. This can kind of be a dungeon where sometimes it's a little hard to keep track because of the number of items that are in here and the number of distinct locations.
He'll probably menu soon, and then we can tell.
Yeah. So there should be 3 checks left. We'll just have to hopefully get a menu here and see where exactly that puts us.
I have a hard enough time counting items when I'm the one playing, much less when I'm watching somebody else do it.
Oh, we should go full
Is-
left. No?
Oh, yeah, no, let's
Thought
get
about
the
it.
big chest first, just in case.
Yep.
Okay, so there is
Okay,
2 items left in the
right.
dungeon.
Yep. I knew we saw the compass. I just couldn't remember if we saw the map or not.
I'm a little surprised he's doing this, to be quite honest, because I feel like with the Tower of Hera thing, like you're kind of saying, you know what, I'm going to skip everything that's kind of out of the way.
Meanwhile, Cassidy is doing the exact opposite. Cassidy's kind of already going left side here. Really just thinking, okay, may as well just full clear looking for something.
Yeah, I think
whatever
this
else
is definitely more in line with what we've seen Cassidy do so far.
Yeah, Ack's been playing. He's been playing a little bit fast and loose with
Off
some
the
of these
cuff.
checks here. Yeah, but Cassidy's been fairly thorough in every dungeon that they've gone into. They've pretty much full cleared it, not skipping anything.
Now that I think about it, the only thing that Ack really has like tried to skip or anything was the Tower of Hera thing, and I do think that was just a mistake.
Yep.
So I feel like he makes that mistake in Tower of Hera, and he says, "Okay, well, never going back there," but I don't think he meant to do that originally.
Probably not. But we're going to get a check here. Both runners actually going to go ahead and, with that hook shot, fall down the left side here. Check this very first chest. Hook shot over to the other one. And we'll get to see on Ack's side first. What's in here? There's a map. And there it is. We know this last chest here is going to be an item. What's it going to be? Is it the flute? Is it Bombos? It's Bombos!
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is very bad news for Ack and very, very good news for Cassidy.
Yep.
Bombos Medallion will be go mode for Cassidy because he will not have to do Mire with this being a 6/6 goal.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Ack gets Bombos, and now he can go to Turtle Rock, but without the Ice Rod, he has to keep opening locations.
Here's the bad thing as well for Ack. Look at the Corey, take a look at the counts on the crystals. This will be 5 for Cassidy, and Turtle Rock will be 6. So that will be like the best possibility for Cassidy to go straight to GT is to do Turtle Rock last. So this has been a super, super wise play from Cassidy. And hopefully Cassidy is also keeping track of what he needs to complete this dungeon and should know now that with Bombos that he's in go mode, doesn't need to open anything else.
Now, Ack definitely does have the lead so far on checking locations. It's just that one location that he skipped. So if we find the flute like really quick and it's a really quick mire, Ack can still win this. But we need to find it like now.
Right. It needs to be he's going to catfish. It needs to be a catfish.
He needs to find it before he gets the catfish.
It's just
do your best.
It's just hanging out.
Kill enemies. They might drop it. Who knows?
Just a flute-shaped enemy. You just pick it up.
Catfish, please.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like it's not going to be here.
Just a bottle.
Yeah,
and he'll continue on to do these flipper checks too.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame. I kind of feel like with what we've seen so far, that the logic of the seed is pointing us toward numbers, the 6th crystal being TR. So I think that's not happy news for Ack. He's gonna have to go back to Hera at some point.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that after these flipper checks. I think we're gonna see Ice Palace next.
Oh boy. But Cassidy doing the sword spins. Tried to set up the Aga fast kill with the fire rod, and it looks like missed the shot, unfortunately, and I kind of threw that off a little bit. But he still gets the kill. Personal number 5.
Okay, so Axe save and quits from Zora, and where are we going? We have Thieves Town we can go finish. We can go Ice Palace, or we can go into TR, or back to
TR.
Hera.
Yeah, he's going up in TR, I think.
Yeah.
I think
No,
he's
this
gonna
makes sense. You just gamble for the Ice Rod. If like the Ice Rod's in here, you like win the game, right?
Right. He's thinking Ice Rod Laser Bridge probably, as it so often is. But unfortunately, he's got the right idea that it's up on the mountain and in a dungeon, but just the wrong dungeon to poke into.
So after he gets through TR and he doesn't find the Ice Rod, it would make a lot of sense for him to go back to Hera while he's up on the mountain. So I don't know if he will do that though, because it's so unfortunate that he made that little mistake there in Tower of Hera. Because when you make a mistake like that, you kind of have to assume that it doesn't hurt you. Because if you go back right away, you're accepting the time loss.
Right. Whenever you go back, you're accepting that whatever time loss that is, but it's also the possibility that, even going back right away, the thought behind that would be minimizing the time loss if it is there.
Yeah, I think if he does go back, I would definitely expect him to see him do Hera Basement first. Because while it's unlikely that Cassidy would have skipped the big key and thus the big chest, it is not uncommon for somebody to skip Hera Basement.
And Ack is in, Cassidy is in. Could be 2 different dungeons here, possibly. I see someone go to Laser Bridge, and somebody might skip it, depending on where that last key is.
We might also find the flute near.
Oh, that would kind of upend the table here.
I mean, no matter what happens, Ack is definitely trailing right now. Like even saving the portal, having to go back to Hera would be a major time loss.
Yep. Here's the big key.
Okay, well that's exceptionally dangerous, Zach. So there's a little uncommon glitch in the game. You don't see this too much, but if you deactivate your cape, either by running it out of magic or just turning it off, as you go through a transition, you get a little stuck and have to mirror out of the dungeon. So dashing south towards the exit of that room with the cape on and then turning it off right at the end is a really dangerous move. Nice single block strat there from Ack.
I like it, nice and safe. See what Cassidy does here. Probably something similar. Yep. Oh, gonna be using the double block.
Yeah, it misses it unfortunately. But the idea there is that the second block turns the pegs back on while you're standing on them and gives you iframes to walk up to the chest.
Yeah, which are super helpful dealing with the chain chomps because they are particularly brutal. They do 4 character damage. Cassidy a little low on health, using the powder to take out the anti-fairy. Always a nice little trick there. We'll have another opportunity to use it in this room coming up here. There's a whole pile of them.
All right, so small key in the lava chest. Cassidy will be skipping this. But the small key in the lava chest means that this will not be like a super awesome TR. for go moding. And it could potentially be a really, really horrible TR for go moding. This is a common play for go mode TR to skip the lava chest and the big chest, and it is a very rare but possible situation that both have small keys, and you have to backtrack through the dungeon.
Great. Well, we know that one of them, at least, is not going to be a big loss to skip that one. Actually, Cassidy's going to take the safer route here.
This is a little less common. But this does mean that he cannot get the really bad key placement, or at least the bad key placement won't ruin his seed. It was a small key too.
That's some really smart decision making
Wow.
by Cassidy. Yeah. Good call. Very good call on doing that.
Okay. So it's really interesting because the only reason we even know it happened is because of Ack full clearing while Cassidy's go moding. But if Cassidy had chose to skip the big chest, which is the common play in this situation, he would have gone all the way to Laser Bridge and there would not have been a key there and he would have had to backtrack through the dungeon. So just on a whim checking the big chest, it's really huge.
I think that makes sense too, because the big chest check is not a whole bunch of time loss to go all the way around and do that. It's maybe like
it's fairly significant, and it's this situation where there's keys in both of those locations is really rare.
Right.
Like I always do this play where you skip both of them, and I think it's happened to me twice ever.
We're gonna get a laser bridge check here, so we will get to see what's hanging out. What 4 items are on here, because Ack's gonna need to check it looking for Ice Rod. Unfortunately, we know it's not here. It's a big 20 to start with. Meanwhile, Cassidy is just... There's the compass, but Cassidy just really taking care of business here with Trinex. There's the map. And already on the phase 2 of the Trinex fight for Cassidy.
This hard hat beetle really giving Ack some trouble there.
Oh,
there's Flute. All right, so that's go mode.
Yep.
It's unfortunate because he's basically doing like an extra dungeon.
Yep.
Having have to go all the way through TR, but from like his point of view, he's probably doesn't feel behind, right?
Nope. Right. So that's good news for Ack. Is Flute. Bad news. You didn't have to do Laser Bridge, and you don't have to do Misery Mire. But Ack's gonna feel like that Mire's gotta be the play.
Yeah, checking her basement is significantly faster than what Ack's gonna end up doing, but
yeah, so,
you know, he doesn't know the Ice Rod's there.
Right. That being said, Koi, we have the key.
Oh yeah, we are opening Ganon's Tower, you guys. Inside Ganon's Tower, there are 22 item locations that contain the big key that cassidymoen needs to finish this game. If you would like to guess in which of those 22 locations the big key is waiting for him, do so now. 1 through 22, you guys. Anybody who says 22 is a monster and not my friend.
I'm going to say 15. How about you?
1. It's in 1, definitely.
You're hoping for the god key placement?
Definitely.
Well, unfortunately not, but...
Oh. Alright, we're going over to Compass Room. It's a pretty common play. We call this the hybrid route if he mirrors after Compass Room, or full right if he goes on to Ice Armos.
Yep, and... Guesses are closed, of course, because they close as soon as Cassidy makes it inside.
Okay, so unfortunately, because Cassie's in the lead, we've switched audio over to him, and for whatever reason, Cassie just doesn't play with background music. So it's a little unnerving. I'm unnerved by this. But yes, your speakers are not broken. There is no music. This is just how Cassidy plays the game. I imagine he's like listening to his own music in headphones or something.
Yep. Like listening to Metallica or something right now, just playing Link to the Past Randomizer. And picking up that monkey. So we're at 6. Have not found anything yet. Here's number 7.
Bum, 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 bum.
It's the silvers. You take that.
Hey.
Absolutely, you take that. Ganon's gonna need to have a talk with his minions about hiding those.
Yeah, it's kind of a conspicuous place to hide evil's bane. Hey, at least it's a Godmire. Like that's something.
8 and 9, nothing there. 10, no. 11, no.
This actually would have been a kind of nice race, even if it was 7-7. Because
Yeah.
Cassidy would have just gone to TR and found Go Mode Flute on Laser Bridge.
There's 12, no.
Yes, so the rules of this tournament is the loser of a race can change one of the settings for the next race out of a list of potential options. And one of those options is to change the crystal requirements for the seed to 6 for Ganon and 6 for GT, which is the one that Cassidy chose. That is why he does not need to do Mire, and why Ack will not need to do Turrock.
Hey, 13. 13 is our answer tonight.
Unlucky
It was in the
Fire Snakes.
indeed the Fire Snake room had the big key tonight, and that means that our winner was Norman. Norman 7891. Congratulations, you were the first one that has 13. A couple of people had 13 though, so if you guessed 13, good on you.
The little spike clicky noise. It's so like Chinese water torture, you know? Click, click, click.
If you've ever wondered what all the sound effects sound like in Link to the Past, now you know.
How do you play the game like this, Cassidy? I don't understand.
That's really interesting there with the...
What's up?
I was gonna say that's really interesting actually how he got through the cannonball room. That's actually a strategy I've not seen before. So there's now 3 strategies, I guess, to get through there.
Oh, what did he
looks
do?
like if you dash up on that. Yeah, if you dash up on that upper ledge and then bounce off the fireball and then you just dash after that, it looks like the
Wow.
patterns line up that it works really well. Because most
There's
people,
several different RNGs for the room.
yeah,
I don't think there's not one strategy that always
Right.
works or anything.
right, yeah. I think
The-
most people
the
just
Answer the single dash all the way through,
Right.
but I don't think that works on every RNG.
right. Most people just use the iframes from when you fall off and it resets you, and then they just dash straight through there.
Yeah, that's
kind of the
actually
one that exists.
yeah, that is one that actually does work with every RNG, right? Because
Right.
like the pattern doesn't matter because you have the iframes.
Right,
But
the
it's not
iframes-
definitely the fastest.
Right.
Looks like we are a poke away from killing this last one. Spit'll do it though.
Indeed. Probably gonna pick up. Nope, gonna skip the safeties, but it's on his way up to floor 5, and that means most satisfying room in the game, part 1. Get the heart out of it. And
Yeah, these next few rooms are super consistent. He shouldn't take any damage unless he gets like frame rolled or something.
and that's part 2.
Very clean.
Yep.
And he does have the powder, so he can refill on the ant fairies in the room after the bomb wall.
Indeed. Gonna use the fire rod here.
Nope.
Not the fire rod.
Use
The
the lamp.
lamp. Fire rod for the last one.
Fire rod would have been faster. He has plenty of magic.
Right, that too. But yeah, that's a pretty common strategy. Light the first 2, fall off the ledge, and then go get the other 2. Meanwhile, Ack is now in GT actually has just picked up the silver, so we do have a bit of a race here. It's not over
Yeah.
yet.
And it looks like Ack's either going to do one of the magician strats where you mirror after compass room or after Stalfos room, but less commonly seen route that would take him to the big key faster is what's called Rando Rush, where you just go all the way to Rando Room and then mirror. Kind of like the opposite of the Pink Magician. But nope, we are doing magician strats today, so Ack will not save any time there.
No, meanwhile, Cassie is on. Oh,
Nope.
and gets
Well,
bounced.
there's some time for Ack. It won't be enough, obviously. Like
No.
Ack needs like a miracle blackout or something on Cassidy's side.
Or like a couple of cannon.
I mean,
no?
every time he falls, man, that's something. A little bit at a time.
Yeah.
I think Cassidy is maybe a little on edge here.
I would be. With it being 6-6, it's certainly possible that you're thinking that, okay, I still haven't seen that dot done. Is this really, really close? Because usually if you get a dot done and you're not up to this point, you're like, okay, this is over. It's all done, and maybe I just finish this out and get ready for the next race. But when you
Cassidy, he doesn't have all the information, right? Like there are locations that were on the way that Cassidy ended up not checking, that might have just had the flute,
right?
Which would have been way faster than doing Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but when you get up to like Aga 2, you still haven't seen that dot done. The nerves do start to get to you a little bit.
Absolutely.
Is that a triple?
Aw, just missing the dream.
That was a double.
Oh, and then the blue ball after. Aga, how could you?
Yeah, that was a triple, double, 0-1. So 3-2-0-1 on that.
It was definitely
Almost
a possible 3-3.
Almost got the blast off there. That could have been cool.
Just to answer chat real quick, we don't have music because Cassidy is not playing with background music.
Great.
We like to have the audio switch to whoever's in the lead here. It's just he doesn't
that is an
like
option
music,
with your seed, is to have the music off. So Cassidy choosing not to play it.
Yeah, usually people turn the music off because that's part of like adding custom music, like the MSU packs. This is actually the first time I've ever seen anybody play with just no music.
And meanwhile, already on the phase 2 there. Still on phase 1.
Yeah, it gets the
now
trident
on phase
spin,
2.
but unfortunately wasn't able to finish off the 1-1.
You should have phase 2 clear. It should be a single cycle for Cassidy.
Oh yeah, easy
If
peasy.
done properly.
This is the best position for Ganon.
Yep, and Ack has already
don't know why
found the key.
Cassie's kind of going ham on Ganon. He was done after the third spin there and could have
Yeah,
just hookshot it out.
Be careful there, friend. That 1.5 hearts. Gotta be really careful not to take a hit. Let a fire bat pop out. That's 3 swings on phase 3. 1 more to go.
Bats
Nice
don't
warps.
kill you, right? What are bats? 3 or 4-3-2 maybe? I have no idea how much a bat does on Red Mail.
I don't either, because I'm usually not worried about it, but it's just one of those things where you just really don't want to even chance it.
Yeah, he's fine though. He's got silvers. This is easy.
Double? Oh, no.
Very close. Okay. Just a little too far away.
Oh, now he's got it, I think. There we go.
Heart beeping is a separate option that he apparently has also turned off. We thank him for that one, though.
And you get those GGs in chat there. Cassidy's going to walk across that bridge, and dot done. Winning game 2. The value of going into pair of basement. GG.
God, I am so happy. I'm so happy that Cassidy has killed Ganon, because now we get music again.
Indeed. And that will be official SRL time of 1:23:01 for cassidymoen. Well executed, as Ack is now probably just gonna finish this out at this point. You're already this far up, you may as well just complete the seed. And we'll get to see what the difference was with the plays. Yeah, this ended up being a really smart decision by Cassidy to go with 6-6.
Well, I don't think the 6-6 didn't really matter with where the flute was, right?
Right.
Like, as if it was 7-7, like, he just goes to TR and finds flute, and that's go mode instead.
True. I think maybe that might have made it less of a problem. Maybe not. Maybe not less of a problem that Ack skipped that chest, but it did at least give Ack the option not to have to go back into TR, so it may have actually even saved Ack a lot more time.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm curious what Ack might have done if it was 7-7. Because, like, it made a lot of sense for him to go to TR with it being 6-6, because if the answer is there, you're just done. But that's not as easy a call if you're 2 items from go mode.
Ack gonna go ahead and grab last chest. Oh, nope, gonna skip it. So we have James Wanders asking in chat, does the next game start right away? No, match 3. Let's see if I'll see if I can find out on the schedule. It's been scheduled already. It may not have scheduled it yet. Yeah, I don't think they've got that scheduled yet. Unless it's later. Could be, I'll check here. Could be on the next page. Could be later Sunday at this point. No, not yet. They haven't scheduled it yet. So I would suspect it'll be tomorrow.
Well, most of the matches I've seen, they don't schedule the third race until
Right.
it's actually happening.
Right. Yeah. I guess it really depends on the pairing. Some will schedule a game 3 and note that if it's necessary, it'll be at this time. And usually they do that if they're going back to back or if it's going to be the next day.
So this was our game 2 of a best of 3. So nobody's out yet.
Right.
Nobody's in yet. Nobody's out yet. This ties up the series. There will be a game 3 between these 2 runners to determine this. And this is the winner's match. So whoever wins that series will go on to the bracket stage, guaranteed. But the loser of this series will not be out of the tournament quite yet. They'll have one more chance in the decider round of the group.
Right, and they will play Megawatt to determine.
Oh, it's already determined.
Yeah, Megawatt has already beaten Black Attack. So. Yep. So that will be coming up in the next phase here. There'll be a second chance bracket final for Group V. It'll be Megawatt versus the loser of this pairing. Whoever loses Game 3 will play them in a best of 3 to determine who will be joining the winner of this best of 3 in the single elimination bracket phase. And just to mention again, Cassidy's official SRL time was 1:23:01. And Ack looks to be just a couple minutes behind here, so. Oh no, start from Armand through weakness. He's double in there, gonna get the
Is that what he sounds like?
Yes. Oh no! And do you get those GGs in chat for Acktheboker? Ack gonna be coming across here
GG.
with an official time of 1:27:49. He will also find the value. And gonna be wrapping it up here, and hopefully we'll get these 2 into Discord in just a moment. Cassidy is not going to be doing an interview with us, so
Yeah, I know. Cassidy's usually busy during the day.
yeah, so probably has to go off and
I don't know what he
do
does.
something else.
I've asked him before. He's told me before, but it's hard. It's hard to remember things that aren't affecting me directly. Does that make me a bad person?
No, sometimes it's just hard to remember things. Which is not good for Randomizer. You always need to remember things, but just make sure you dedicate the memory portion to the rando to the memory portion of your brain. Randomizer,
Definitely.
breathing, and randomizer. That's all we need to know.
Not sure if we're going to get Acme here for an interview. I'd love to hear one just to find out what exactly happened in Tower of Hera, because from my perspective, it looks like he just made a mistake and just decided to press on it.
Yeah.
Of course, the mistake might not have even been like a big difference maker, like because he was going to do Herapod. If the truth is that he thought he had the small key and that it was Firelock and he was doing Herapod, he may have been willing to skip an item in Hera Basement anyway.
Right.
Even if he had grabbed that big key. Overall, pretty straightforward seed though. Like both our runners did pretty much the exact same thing throughout the seed. Cassidy falling behind early. By last location in Bonk Rocks, but then pulling ahead after doing Hera Basement.
Yep. And really, I think that Hera Basement play probably was the big time save for Cassidy, especially because Cassidy went and cleared out Desert Palace early as well, looking for something that there was nothing there.
Yep. Well, regardless of whether or not we get an interview with that, guys, make sure you give these runners a follow. Acktheboker and cassidymoen, both fantastic runners who I'd be so surprised if they didn't both get out of this group stage.
Oh, yeah.
Although Megawatt's not exactly a greenhorn either.
No, Cassidy did beat Megawatt 2-1. So that game did go to 3 in last time. So actually both Ack and Cassidy went to 3 games in their semifinal matchups. So, it's certainly not the first time we've seen these two have to go to game 3 to determine who's moving on. And yeah, it's gonna be this is a very good group V here. We had 4 very good runners at the start, and now we're down to 3, unfortunately, with Black being dropped out in that lag attack Megawatt match. So somebody who's good is gonna go home, and that's kind of the whole thing with the way the brackets have been set up here. We're gonna see some really good runners not make it to single elimination. It's gonna be very, very tough, and that's gonna mean. I think it's going to mean we're going to have some excellent matchups here.
Yeah, I think that's just really telling of the overall quality level of our runners. That even here at the round of 128, that people who you don't expect to go home are going home.
Yeah,
we've already had a couple of number 1 seeds from their groups already being eliminated, and several, including myself, number 1 seeds, dropping down to the decider match.
Yeah, and there's so much talk about group of death in these matches. There are multiple groups of death in this stage. There are multiple groups where there's 4 incredibly good runners, and you're looking at the possibility of seeing somebody who you would expect to be like top 16 maybe not make it. I mean, Superman Taylor was the number 1 seed. He's been eliminated. Gerdo, Asder is in second chance finals in Group A B. Obviously, you're number 1 seed. You've got to go through second chance final as well.
Yeah, when the group of 128 came out, and I'm looking at all the groups, I'm like, there is no group that I actually want to be in.
I know that.
Like, not one of them looks like, there are no free wins in this tournament.
Right.
Not all.
Right, Salty Fry is in the same situation as you, having been 2-0'd by Mentos Man. So there's certainly some people that are fighting for their tournament lives that are just kind of hanging on here, and even the seeding too. You know, you've got people who are like within their group, they're a lower seed, but they're still kind of really dangerous. Like Mizzy and Faro's AA is a 3 seed in Group J, so that's you know, you wouldn't expect to see some of these people being like 3 and 4 seeds, but then you take a look at who the 1 and 2s are, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's just the way that this worked out.
Well, guys, it looks like we won't be getting an interview from Acktheboker either. Unfortunate. I would have loved to hear from him, but you know, it's the middle of the day. People got things to do.
Right, and
It's,
maybe
it's
also
Christmas
just kind
season
of
and all that.
yeah, kind of also maybe just a situation where if you've had a run like this, you kind of just want to step away and, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
recompose yourself a little bit.
Pretty tilting situation for sure. I don't know if he's tilted or not. He's pretty
Right.
experienced. He's probably
Right.
out there tilted.
Might just be a situation too where you just want to rest up.
But we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Remember, follow our runners cassidymoen and Acktheboker, and big love to our tracker, Mr. Broadstone. Very much
Yes.
appreciated. Thank you for doing that for us. And we have been Koi, that's me, and Nihon Tiger. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, and just to give you a little bit of a heads up on what else is going on, let me check real quick and check the tournament. And see if there's anything else going on right now. Yes, we do have a match that is ongoing right now. Rambler and Gem are playing on Speed Gaming 4. That's a good one.
And
That's going to be a really good. Those are two very good runners.
It started like 10 minutes after ours. They
Right.
might already be finished up though.
I just did check and they're still going. So.
Oh, well, nice. Top over Speed
Yep.
Gaming 4, you guys. Go watch the end of that. And
Yep,
then
so
later today, we got some matches on Speed Gaming 4
Right.
between Rambler and Gem, and then Christos, Owen, and Hitzian. Those are some good matches as well, definitely.
Indeed. Christos up 1-0 in that series. So that's for Hitzian, who's a 1 seed again. You know, Christos coming in as a 2. That tells you we talked a little bit about the brackets and how that all kind of came out. You know, Christos being a 2 seed, a bit of a surprise maybe, but he's still a very dangerous 2 seed given his skill level. Hitzian's no pushover either, so that's going to be a great matchup on Speed Gaming 2. They're going to start at 1:05. Then at 1 o'clock on Speed Gaming 4 is the continuation of Rambler and Gem. They're going to have their game 2 immediately after game 1, so they're going to go back to back here. And then Speed Gaming 4, we have another match at 3:20 between someone 325 and Thalane. That's going to be very good. Speed Gaming 2 will have another match as well. Actually, yeah, we have matches on Speed Gaming 2 and Speed Gaming 4 all throughout the day up until about, it looks like the last batch for the afternoon is going to be around 5:20 Eastern.
Yeah, this is
and then
we got a lot of people in this tournament. Lots of races going on every day. Make sure you check the schedule, you guys.
Indeed. And be sure to follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 5, as well as ALTTP Randomizer, which will host the Machin X versus Werfjig game at 5:20 p.m. Game 2 for them. So be sure to follow that as well. And yeah, I guess with that we can kind of wrap things up a little bit. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being with us this morning. Hope you had a fun time. Remember, someone out there loves you, and we love you too here. So take care of yourselves and have a good day, everyone.
Oh, and happy Christmas.
Indeed, happy holidays.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.